How's it going, everybody?
And that's all I
Hey,
do. I
Pablo.
just wait for the thing to say that we're live streaming, and there we are. And then I can say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the whenever. Like Stuart's out there in Australia, and it's dark 30 at some point in time. But basically, welcome to our weekly meeting of the Virtual Pipe Club. I'm the host and co-founder or founding member or whatever of the Virtual Pipe Club, David Dorian Ross, and I'm joined by these beautiful people in the Zoom room. Say hello, Zoom room.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hola.
Look at that handsome group of people, let me tell you. We are joined by a very special guest today. For any of you who are joining us over there on Facebook and YouTube, you are also our special guests, and I want to let you know that during the course of the meeting today, if you have something that you want to chime in with as a chat or a question for our guest speaker, please do so. Just throw it in there on the chat. I'll read it and try to get it into the conversation. But our special guest is somebody that I'd say most people in the pipe world have seen before, because he is the star of the documentary Father the Flame, Lee von Erck. And I just now, he was in the middle of a great story, and I told him to stop and hold that story until we get started here and everybody gets piled into the live stream room. And then he's going to come back and tell the rest of the story. But here's the thing. So those of you who are online, weren't here in the Zoom room, won't know what the first part of the story was. And that's why you should get into the Zoom room, right? So we have plenty of room in there. And if you want to find out how to get in, the link is all over all the smoking pages on Facebook. So just go there. We've got somebody over there on Facebook going, ciao, from Italy. Rich Gallagher says, can you please increase the volume? So we just spent the last 20 minutes with me messing around with the volume here because I'm getting a terrible echo. So I'm just going to have to like lean into the microphone, and hopefully that'll be sufficient. But Picking a Pipe says he's still hearing the echo.
Yeah, you sound like you're announcing for the Mets.
You've got an external mic.
Yes, coming into right field.
And they lose another one.
Well, there you go. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get off the microphone so that I can get rid of that echo for a while I don't know, push more buttons, and go to my friend Oliver, who's going to take us around the world of the Zoom room, who's smoking what they're smoking it in. And Oliver, take it away, brother.
Thank you, DDR. Welcome also from my side. So I'm live right now in a state park on the campsite here in Illinois. So we are out for a little bit tenting, and I hope the weather would be not worse. Thunderstorm is coming, but hopefully after the meeting. Yes, let's start with all your virtual hands to see who was and who wasn't. That would be great. So, and I will start quickly. I hope my connection holds. I smoked some McBaron Vanilla Flake, and it's a little bit harsh, and I guess it's because it's a little bit too dry. So it's not very sweet and it's harsh. So I'm not a big fan right now. Normally I like this stuff, and I smoke it in a little mortar pipe from a German pipe maker. It's a little nice pipe. And, most of the time when I'm traveling, I use my meerschaum or mortars because I can smoke everything out of these guys and have no issues with any roasting or something. So this is the reason why I have most of the time on the road. All right. With that, I would like to give the virtual pipe to my friend Stephen Amos.
Well, thank you, Oliver. You know, when I first saw your picture, I thought you were on safari there. Looked like you were getting ready to,
looks like
to go shoot something or catch a fish.
No, you see that? I got it from Sutliff.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, see?
Is it one size fits all?
Yes, it
Okay.
fits all. With
Oh,
hair,
that's-
without hair, it fits all. Thank
That's
you.
good. Well, today I thought would be a good day for a nose warmer. So I'm smoking my Dagner, and I've got some McBaron's original choice. It's funny, I remember when I first bought a tin of that stuff, I lit up one bowl, and next thing I knew, I was ordering a pound of it. And then when this little guy burns out, I've got the Cuddy. I don't know, can you see that?
No.
No?
No. That's
Yep.
better.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the Cuddy, and then that's the Dagner poker. I will pass it to my good friend who I'm driving crazy with my barbecue, Miguel.
Sabalos. Miguel, are you in? I guess not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the other side of the world. We'll go to Stuart from our friend from Australia.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Today I'm smoking some Squadron Leader, and I'm smoking it in my Peterson 05. It's the premier version, and I'm trying an experiment. I've put a little chimney on the stem, which will take the smoke down a little U-turn around the draw hole. So I thought it was really good. Peterson making available spare stems and little deluxe chimneys. So it'll be a bit of an experiment, see how it goes. And I will pass it on to Tim.
Thank you, Stuart. Hello, everybody. Good to see you today. And today I'm smoking my Peterson Mark Twain, which I feel is really important for my Peterson collection. And so I bought this off some gentleman off of eBay. And it comes with a really nice presentation box and a linen. And I actually have the original sales slip, and it was purchased in 1982. And at the time, the pipe was $79.50. I think, well, I certainly didn't pay that. I certainly paid more. And I know if I were to buy it today, buy a Mark Twain today, it would certainly cost more. So
Wow.
Little bit of history there. Pretty cool. And in it, I am smoking Rattray's Howl of the Wind. Really nice tobacco that I enjoy. I noticed on the tin here, it says for gentlemen only. Well, I'm smoking it anyway. So, hey. So I would like to turn the virtual pipe over to Ramachandran.
Thank you, Tim. Hi, greetings to all. Today, I'm smoking from my Rediche Rand, which I recently got from smokingpipes.com Europe. And in it, I'm smoking OGS, Orlick Golden Slice. Fabulous vapor, my favorite one too. And now I would pass it on to Fadi Hawa. Fadi, that's for you.
Thank you, my friend Ramachandran, and greetings to all of you, fellow pipe smokers. I'm smoking in my Savinelli Church Warden, a bowl of Balkan Stasieni, and afterwards I will smoke in my Moretti, and it's a Rhodesian Moretti. I will be smoking also an English mixture, which is Old Dublin.
Oh,
So,
good.
yes, it's a very nice tobacco. I will pass now the virtual pipe to Darren in Texas.
Well, hello, fellows. Welcome from Texas. Hold on. Let's see. My pipe today is a Savinelli Punta Oro, and I am going to be. Well, it's kind of hot in Texas where I'm at right now. It's about 99 degrees, so I'm in my office. So the pipe's not lit yet, but this is my Savinelli Punta Oro. And I got some old dark fired from McBaron, which I cracked open the other day. So this one I'm not used to yet. I think I like it, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know after I finish the tin. And I'm going to pass the virtual pipe to my other fellow Texan, Mr. Alvin.
By the way, Darren, I just want to let you know, the answer is yes, you do like that old dark fire.
I do like it. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks, David.
Well, thank you, Darren. Thank you very much. I am today smoking my Costello Sea Rock that Nick from Daniel's Pipe Shop gracefully and gladfully provided me. And in it, I am, as Darren said, it's pretty hot in Texas right now. So I am in my man corner in the garage, which is still cooler than than outside on the patio. And I'm smoking some Josh's Oriental Supreme, an HU tobacco. Jurgen may be familiar with it. And it's a nice change of pace from the Englishes I normally smoke. A nice Virginia Oriental with a little burley and freak in it, and a nice refreshing smoke. And I will then pass it on to.
Excuse me, my friends.
Yes.
I just got a phone call. I need to leave. So
I was going to pass the pipe to you, David. So okay.
Well, I've been smoking I bought a Chinese. It's a Mushang church warden, and I got 1Q in it. And when that's done, I'm going to go back to just fall back to my standard corn cob. And I'll probably either put in some BCA or some Peterson 201. So,
okay, sir. Okay, well then we'll catch you later then, David. I will pass.
On there, Alvin. I'll let you pass it.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll tell you what, Pablo, you take it.
Well, thank you very much, Alvin. Greetings from New York City, where it is overcast and we are on a tropical storm warning. We are due to receive about 4 inches in 24 hours. So we're all hunkering down here. I am currently smoking a meerschaum, which has this very funny kind of radiator pattern. And I call it a radiator pattern because it really increases the surface area of the bowl, and it smokes very cool. I bought this at Barclay Rex for $50, actually.
That's a beauty.
Which I thought, yeah, thank you. I thought it was a very good deal. I couldn't pass it up. And it's vintage. I think it's from the 70s. It has a Bakelite stem, so it might even be older. And in it, I am enjoying some Esoterica Brighton, which is a Virginia. And into this Brighton, I have sprinkled in some very nice Barrique that our friend Dimitri was kind enough to supply me with in order to create a very tasty homemade vapor with a hint of apricot. And it it's just finding the right level of Perique is everything. It's too much and you get knocked out, and too little and you don't really appreciate it. So it's I think I hit the sweet spot this time. By the way, Dimitri and several other regulars are not able to join us today because they shifted the New York Pipe Club barbecue to today in anticipation of the storm. It was originally scheduled for tomorrow. So with that in mind, I will pass it to Herr Jürgen Gradenegger.
There we go.
No problem.
I have to go figure that out. Haven't been on this in
Thank
a
you,
while.
Pablo. Thank you.
Carol.
Oh, there's Dimitri.
Dimitri joined in.
Hello, guys.
Can't remember.
Dimitri.
How is the barbecue, Dimitri?
We got the virtual one.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey guys. Hello, Jürgen.
Ah,
Hello. Hi, Luis.
Hey, guys.
We are on the virtual pipe tour. I'm smoking now my beloved Elton Basic pipe, and in it I have the 633 from Solani, very delicious blend. Should be a all-day smoke, I think. And the second round I will smoke the HU. What is it? I should know. Nashville County in my Fuji from Faun. And I know what reminds you that finish. I always think myself. I think always a little bit on salami. So that is it. I hand it over to.
I was actually thinking that looks a lot like the tile on the floor of the men's room in the Hilton, but that could be, you know.
Salami is much more delicious. So I hand the virtual pipe over to a very nice gentleman and a good friend, Mike Rizzo.
Thank you, Jürgen. So just like you, I'm smoking some Solani 633 Virginia Flake with Perique. This, however, I was able to get from Paul's Pipe Shop. It's from January of 07. I was able to pick up a bunch of tins from him. I got 6 tins of this, and then I got 2 tins that were the Golden Slice from 09 and 2 Wessex Classic Virginia from 2010. So I was able to call him, talk to Dan personally, great guy, shipped it out. So I'm smoking that in my Briar Blues 25th anniversary, and I'm doing a little experiment, and I have some in my other Radice Lavat. I have a fresh bowl of the 633. So right off the bat, this stuff is amazingly deeper. It's crazy.
You have to tell me the difference between the aged one, because if it gets better, I will stop.
It gets a lot better. I mean, it's almost a completely different blend with that much age on it. The Virginias are a lot darker. The Perique is a little spicier. It's a sweeter blend when you fresh, but with the age on it, everything kind of just deepens. I mean, it's just color wise. As soon as I opened the tin, I was like, wow. And luckily, Solani in these tins now, they don't vacuum seal. They just have like a piece of cellophane. Luckily, back then they vacuum sealed. So I was a little hesitant when I bought them to see how dry they were. The moisture content's perfect, so I was pleasantly surprised about that. So, but yeah, I'll let you know the difference there. Let's go to Bud. How you doing out there in San Diego, Bud?
Thank you. I'm doing good, Mike. We're overcast and it's been drizzling for all night, pretty much. And just until we started, my cat was in my seat out here on the patio because it was a little too wet for hanging out. But I'm smoking some Levant's mixture and a new Bones Seafarer, which is an arbutus or strawberry wood. I asked for the gnarly, a little bit gnarly, and I think he did a good job of giving me some gnarly wood work there. So, and then I'm going to follow that up with some Mycroft Environment Ventures, and that's with the I won this pipe at a raffle last Sunday. It's a Matt Tresher, the sitter, little poker. It's got a silver hammered band on it, and he was nice enough to donate it to our club, and we made some money for our club that day. So, and let me head over to the other coast, and then John in North Carolina.
Thank you, Bud. Let's see. Today I'm using one of my estate Ben Wades that I've had for quite a while. Not sure what that shape is, but it's a nice smoker. It's fairly heavy pipe. When I finish that one up, I'm probably going to switch off to one of my other Ben Wades flame grain to get it going. And I'm doing, I'm for Cavendish, black Cavendish today. So nice smoking tobacco. That's a fairly fresh pouch. It's a little too moist still, but I'm working with it. So, and let me pass this virtual pipe off to David Klein.
Thank you, guys. Good to be with you again. Greetings from South Florida. Today I'm smoking my bent apple. It's HS Studio, which I believe is from China. And in it, I have some Orlik Golden Sliced. And then as soon as I finish this, I'm going to switch to my new Meerschaum that I just recently bought from smokingpipes.com. And when I start that one up, I think I'm going to go back to my Edward G. Robinson blend. So great to be with you again. And how about if I pass the pipe over to Randall Arnett?
Hey, Dave, before you go away, how do you like the Edward G. Robinson blend?
I enjoy it a lot. It's I talked about it last week. It's got a unique taste to it. It's got that toasty flavor to it with the dark fruit topping, and there's also a liquor note, which I guess is bourbon, but it's very mild, and I like it a lot. I think I'm going to order some more of it.
All right, your turn to pass it on.
I passed to Randall Arnett.
Okay. Randall, it's your turn to pick it up.
Greetings. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Today, one of my old favorites. Which way do I go? Just a Bones Billiard. Not flashy, but really a good smoker. And I like a little Prince Albert in it. Nice and smooth, easy going. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to let it cool off, and I'll probably put some more Prince Albert in it because it works for me. Let's see. Who do you need to find here? Dimitri, are you available?
Hi, guys. I'm here in Lynbrook, New York. We have official New York Pipe Club picnic. So we have a lot of people here.
Everyone used to go to Pila Concha for glass.
I'm smoking official Pipe Club picnic pipe, which is corn cob from Missouri Meerschaum. These are tobaccos we have for the club, for the picnic. We have some pipes and tobaccos available for sale. And most important, we're just having great time. Louis is here, Patrick is here, Les is here. So I'll say goodbye now. I'll get back to the people, and let me pass pipe who wasn't there yet. I don't see any race. Okay, I see.
Hey, Dennis.
Steven.
Say Dennis.
Steven Spence.
thank you, Dimitri. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy. Today, I am smoking some Amphora Virginia and smoking that in my Cornell and Deal commissioned Missouri Meerschaum cob. Great smoker. I like my cobs quite a bit. I smoke a cob at least once a day, almost every day. Let's see. I'll pass it to Dennis. Take it away, Dennis. I think you're on mute, Dennis.
I had hit the, sorry about that, gentlemen. Sorry. Let's see. Savinelli Capri, one so old that I bit through the bit and had to replace it with lucite. That's why it's a weird green color. Whatever. And in it is Peter Stockaby's cream brulee because I wanted something light today. I was going to complain about the weather, then I've been hearing the rest of you guys, so I give up. You know, you've all got me beat. Hey, Amir, you still in?
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Good morning, everybody. So thanks to Mike, today I'm revisiting GLPs, Chelsea Morning. I got a bunch of them in this pack. The last time I smoked it was like 5 years ago. So my first ride will be in my clay pipe. Nice one. And still smoking the same one after this in my Bulldog collaboration pipe with Marek Chico. So I see Steve. You raise your hand?
You mean Steve in Colorado? Yes. Smoking Don Carlos with some Peretti's London Flake, which I've come to enjoy a lot. So I'll pass it to Justin.
Hey, thanks, Steve. This is Justin here from Connecticut. I'm smoking my Roma Churchwarden. It's a 7128 Churchwarden. I really like the cool carved rustification on it. And in it, I'm smoking some Cornell and Deal's Miskatonic mixture. This stuff is delicious. I can smoke it all the time. Thanks. Is there anybody else? Let's see. Oops. Yeah, Patrick Grant. You got your hand up right there.
All right. Thank you. Hey guys, as Dimitri said, myself, Lee, and also here at Pipe Club Picnic, I'm actually smoking a Capone pipe here, double shake, soap control with a white gun, and in it I'm smoking a strudel. Who else has a hand up?
So I just wanted to make a comment. A few people asked why Patrick was upside down, and we just did that for Stuart in Australia so that you would know what you're really looking at.
I was going to say it must be a hell of a party, huh? The guys are upside down.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and help Stuart or Andrew has been hanging out there. Andrew, why don't you hop in, my brother? I have to. Andrew's, my favorite child because he also smokes a lot of Chris Kelly pipes. So
that's true.
We're like that. All right, Andrew, take it away, brother.
Thank you, DDR. Yeah,
a lot of everybody's.
Yeah. Don't have the Eldridge pipe out today, but actually I need to call Chris or talk to him because I need to get another pipe from him. I'm loving the Dr. Silence pipes. But all right, so I'm currently finishing a bowl of Until the End from Warped in the Briarworks Lavat. And next up, I was actually lucky enough to have an actual gift card from an anniversary 20 years at my job that I decided to spend on myself. And Miguel, after seeing his Tom Eltangs, and I finally decided I needed to get one. So next up is going to be my beautiful natural Eltang poker. And in it, I have some GLP's Cumberland Anniversary, which I really, really enjoy. So,
Andrew, you want to trade?
Yeah. They're all good, right?
All good.
Yeah. All right. Up next, I think Thomas is waiting too. So, Thomas, it's all yours.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Andrew. I am smoking some Royal Twist Deluxe today. I am burning through this at an alarming rate. I've only got 2 tins of it, and it's taken me about a week to almost get through this one. And I've got this 7LE111EX. It's a Hercules. It's a fairly new pipe, and it still tastes strongly of briar. Maybe because of its massive size. I don't know. It's like twice the size of any of my other billiards. So I'm hoping to cure that problem today with some of this Royal Twist. But we'll see how it goes. And I think I may have been the last up. I don't
No, not
see-
really. So we have some more guys like Kent, maybe.
I don't see
or-
any hands.
Yeah, I know. So, but Kent wasn't when I see it right.
Looks like Tyler's got it.
And we have also Jared Sabatini. So pick one of those. Or Sean McConnell.
So you'd like me to pick?
Yeah, why not?
How about Sean?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I guess I'm just look at the radar. Looks like New York, you're about ready to get hit. And it's going to cruise on up here to Massachusetts and hit us in a little while. So today, going with some really basic M4 Burley in my Peterson 2019 Pipe of the Year. And let's see, who else we have? Tyler, Mr. Edwards. I saw your hand up there.
How's it going, guys? It's been a while. So today I'm smoking my Shire from the Cobbett series from Missouri Meerschaum. And I pulled out some of my Sun Bear from 2019 that I've been sitting on and giving it a good old puff today. So, and then, let's see here. I'm on a phone, so it's a little harder to scroll through here. Let's see who else we got.
Let me help you. There's no hand right now. So, but I would say we can pick, what about, who is it? No, he's gone. Ertan Sengul. You are on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Yeah, hello from Istanbul. This is the first time I join in Zoom. Before that,
Welcome.
I was following you on YouTube for the videos. So this is Stanwell, and I am enjoying with Haunted Bookshop. Yeah, it is really really good. Thank you. To talk with you. Thank you very much.
You could join us.
Yeah, it's very nice for you to meet you, and welcome to your first meeting with us. I hope this is just the first of many.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Love
Thank you
having
very
new
much.
people. Yeah.
And I'm passing to, I don't know, I can't see because I'm connecting the mobile phone. If you say some names, then I can pick up.
Let me help you with Gerard Sabatine. Gerard, are you there?
Gerard. Okay, passing to Gerard.
How's it going, guys?
Here
It's
we
my
go.
first time on the meeting with you guys too. From Indianapolis, smoking this Castello Old Antiquary Bent Bulldog with a little Samuel Gawith Lakeland Dark.
Nice. Jared, also welcome.
And welcome. by
Welcome
the
to
way.
the
Yes.
to the group here. It's
Thanks, guys.
couldn't possibly wander into a nicer group of guys. That's all I got to say. So
Awesome.
we're looking forward to
sarcasm.
hanging out with you in the future too. Well, Oliver, should I just go?
Maybe we have 2
I'll just
more.
go,
Let's,
and then
let's try
we'll
this,
pass it
and then
on
we can go.
to Lee to keep up with the story.
Yeah. So let's. I'm sorry. You would go ahead. Oh.
Yes, I'm going to
Okay,
steal
okay.
the thunder.
So
here.
we have 2 left, but It doesn't matter.
Yes,
Wait.
they should come earlier. Just kidding.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm teasing. But we want to get back to Lee's story. So I'm just going to do the segue here. So like many of you guys in the club today, I got the call for the Morgan Bones. And so that's what I pulled out this morning. And I started out with this sort of his radiator style. And in it, and again, I have no idea why. One of you probably sent me the message. Cornell and Deal's Dreams of Kadath. Dun, dun, dun. Which actually is quite mild for such a scary name. And then if I get tired of that nonsense, I'm going to pull out another Morgan's Bone. This is his author style. It's a little bit bigger, especially in the stem, than my 7LE 320. So it's a 340. I don't know. And inside of that, pulled out some Cornell and Deal Dark Fired. And so that's what's going to round out my day that way. Okay. For those of you who are watching over there on Facebook and YouTube, and for the gentleman who joined us for the first time today, this is how we usually start every meeting, with just, it's a way to like get some camaraderie going, to find out what everybody, and not for nothing, every week I learn about another tobacco that I've never tried. And I'm back here making notes like, okay, I got to try that one. And speaking of getting things that I've never tried before, Amir, your post on your answer to the question on our Facebook page led me to at least 5 new carvers that I'm just in love with already.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah. So there was a question about, list your favorite carvers. Tons and tons of really awesome people, but Amir has to win the prize for the most thorough numbered list, 1 to 10, with notations about their different style of carving. Amir's an overachiever. So thank you for that. All right. What I'd like to do is have everybody over there on Facebook and YouTube remember not to leave until the last bowl is smoked. Lee's going to come on here in a second and tell us all kinds of stories. And I have announcements about upcoming guests and the status of the 2021 Virtual Pipe Club Pipe of the Year. And I know you won't want to miss that. Because he's here, I'm imagining that Oliver's going to try to get the 2022 Pipe of the Year to be a Lee von Erck, but I'm not speaking for him. I'm going to let him do that. So that's all I know, which leads me to reintroducing a very, very special guest that we have today as our guest speaker. We've had tons of great guest speakers, but I don't think anyone more as sort of embodiment, the face of modern pipe smoking and premium pipe tobacco loving. And that is Lee von Erck. You'll know him from the documentary Father the Flame. And we're going to ask him all the regular questions, all the usual suspects, but then we're going to try to get him to tell some stories that he's never told anyone before. That's my plan. So without further ado, Lee, welcome.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. I like doing these types of things. I've been on other programs similar to this and enjoying very much. It's always been my philosophy in this industry that you can't continually take out of because it's your profession, you can't continually take out of the hobby. You have to give back. And this is one little thing that I can do to help put back in the hobby. Last weekend, I was at Columbus. I had 1 pipe for sale. I didn't sell it, but Thursday morning it went into a box with 2 more and got shipped to Singapore. So I have no pipes in stock, but we hope to get that remedied in the next couple of weeks without gremlins, hopefully. So,
well, I'll get the ball rolling here. So I think a question that everybody likes to know, and it's just a standard question, but it tells us a little bit about the individual, is your beginnings of smoking a pipe. And then eventually I'm going to lead that into the beginnings of your carving pipes. But did you have a father or a grandfather who smoked? How'd you get started?
I had a grandfather and a father that both did smoke pipes. I really didn't smoke pipes until I got stationed in southwestern France in the army, and they had cigarettes rationed on us. So a lot of guys were smoking pipes over there. My first pipe is over there in the case. It's a Longchamp Canadian with all the nice tan leather on it. No, it's over there. And I still smoke it every once in a while. It's been through a lot. I brought 5 or 6 of them home. I forget. I've lost some over the years. But that was my original pipe smoking.
So what kind of tobacco were you smoking? It's like crushed up cigarettes?
The pipe you saw me smoking earlier, I had a mixture of McClellan 40 anniversary, which is 2010, and I mixed a little bit of 5100 with it. And I finished that bowl. I got another one started with some Christmas cheer from 2005. I'm a big McClellan fan. Mike and Mary are personal friends. Over the years, we got to be friends. And I don't think there's anybody anywhere that did or is doing Virginia like Mike McNeil did.
So now I have 2 questions because my original question was a different question, but now that I know more about your smoking rotation today, that's really interesting. So almost 3 to 4 different tobacco changes today. Is that something that you do regularly? Cleansing your palate? What is that like?
Well, but anything that I smoke is pretty much all the same. I've got some McBaron's Virginia #1 here. I've got some of the Virginia H&H Pure Virginia. I think I got one. I got one slice left or 2. Galwith full Virginia flake. I really starting to like Peter Stokkely's luxury twist flake. It's PS402. But that's pretty much what I smoke. I've got a lot of 2030 downstairs in my cellar, and I mean a lot. And also, that's a McClellan blend. And also from McClellan 5125 that I don't smoke anymore. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
So would you say that you are smoking so many different kinds because you're trying to get rid of some of them? Which, by the way, it's not that weird, guys. I do that all the time. I'm like, I've got too much in the cellar. I need to smoke it up. Or do you do that because you're just want to have different tastes throughout the day?
Well, right now, I'm not smoking the McClellans as much as I used to because there is a limited supply, even though it's rather large. And I'm trying to extend it out. I hope I have a lifetime supply, but I want to smoke up most of it. So I do smoke it. First thing in the morning, I'll have McClellans. After supper, I'll do a McClellan's. In between, it might be McBaron's, it might be Stokkely, it might be Galwith. When I'm down in my shop, it's hard to keep the pipe lit while I'm working. I don't know why I even try. It just doesn't work. I should just put the pipe down, get the work done, then have a pipe.
And then my original question was, you weren't smoking McClellan back in the day when you first began to smoke a pipe. So I wanted to ask, like, what was in your pipe in those days?
Half and half a lot. That was probably my favorite, but it was a real tongue bite. And way back in the, I guess the late 60s, maybe early 70s, I was at my brother's wedding in Detroit. I had to go to the drugstore for something. And here's this big rack of these tins of McBaron's. And I started buying those. And then I discovered Edwards tobaccos sometime after that. And I smoked a lot of theirs. I think I saw an ad in a fly fishing magazine for an Edwards pipe store out in the Denver area. That's how I got to them. And then it's always been a search for the latest and greatest stuff. And I've had pipe shops here. This is all before I was making pipes, of course. I had pipe shops here, but the first one didn't have a whole lot of stuff in it. It was run by two sisters. They carried some good pipes. They had a pipe called Malaga, which was an oil-cured pipe, and it was made in Detroit. But there were two brothers that ran a pipe store, and they made pipes there. And the one brother would make a bunch of pipes and go on the road selling them. I've got some of those pipes over here too. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Boy, I want to hear some more of those stories. And we do have a story that we're right in the middle of. But before we get back to that, I want to open it up to the questions from the rest of the guys in the Zoom room here. And all you got to do is, fellas, just make sure your mic is on and go ahead and speak up. And if a couple of you speak up at the same time, whoever talks fastest wins. So
whoever I can understand wins.
I have a question for you, Mr. Erck. One of the most iconic pipe that I see online is I just need to know how you did it and how long it takes you to do it. So I don't know if you guys can see this. They call this basically the A51042 model. I mean, I'm going back to work actually in September, and in my office, I'm going to actually ask somebody to actually blow it up and put it in my office. I just need to know how you did it, because it's pretty amazing the way that pipe was done. I mean, if I don't know how good you are, and I didn't do any research on your pipe, it looked like a CNC machine. So I just need to know how long it takes you to do it. It's beautiful. It's fantastic.
This hand is a vise, and this hand is a tool. Okay. That particular pipe with the square shank and a Dublin sort of a bowl on it is rather difficult to get it exactly right. First of all, the shank, you have to get it exactly square. Because if you don't, when you put the flutes in, and you look down the plane across the top of the shank, looking this way, it'll go like this, or, so you've got to make it so that the top of the flutes on all four sides are absolutely flat, which means you start square shank. That is done, first I make it round, the shank. Then I start making it square. In the very end of it, the fine part of it, I do with files, small 6-inch files that I use double-side tape and tape sandpaper on it.
Wow.
And in the beginning, I might start with 60 grit, but probably 150. Then I'll go to 100. And mostly I can stop at 100 because I'm going to mess it all up when I put the flutes in. Now, if you look at that shank, it looks like it's a twist, like the round shank I do.
Yes.
But not a twist. That is a mirror image because the flutes on the side all taper down forward toward the bowl. And the flute is one continuous flute around. Each one is separate. The bowl, and I'll get to how I do the flutes in a minute. The bowl, I divide into 8 equal size lines down all around the bowl. Then I connect dots from the bottom of the bowl to the top of the bowl, all the way around. Once I have those lines where they're all equal, I have a flexible shaft that I use out of my drill press. Makes my drill press a big Dremel tool. And I use rotary drums. On the bowl, I use a 3/4 inch diameter sanding drum, and I start with 60 grit there. And before the curing, I will take it down to 150 grit. Now I do the same thing on the shank. I lay it all out, and I use a 3/8 size drum and in the flexible shaft to put those flutes in. And I'll stop at 150 because I'm going to mess them all up. I want to take off more wood after the curing process. Then the piece goes into the curing, and it'll take anywhere from a week to 2.5 weeks total in the curing. The pipes are weighed before they go in, and then every day after that, not every day, I weigh them periodically. And when they stop losing weight is when I take them out of curing and finish them. Once that pipe came out of curing, the bit was put back in it. I've got to refit the mortise, and I've got to do some fitting at the end of it a little bit. And then I take the drums and I go all the way to 600 grit. And then I go to 1500, and I do that by hand. Now, the total time that pipe is in my vise is 4 days, 5 days, sometimes more because you run into a problem, something you didn't catch before. There's always something, but it's a lot of work, each pipe, each one of them. Those are the most work of anything I do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lee, I would think that with a pipe like that, you have to really be selective in the briar and be very, very hopeful that it stays that way, because it's a smooth pipe, and I mean, and it's so intricate, you know, that anything above, you know, like a microscopic flaw, sandpit or something, it's just going to ruin it or take away from the beautiful carving. And I don't know if that's ever happened, but I would think that you kind of need all of your skill and a little bit of prayer from the briar gods.
Gremlins. Here's
whatever.
what I have in my collection. I was down to, I don't know, 60 grit or something, and I found a flaw right there. And I wouldn't sell it because that flaw went through to the draft hole. I filled my mouth with smoke. I plugged the hole and blew in it, and I had a steam. I had an explosion there. So Yes, I only use briar from Mimo. Everybody knows him as Mimo. Really, it's Domenico Romeo is his real name. I only use his #1 briar because I know it's going to be clean, and I might steal that piece is from Mimo. He didn't know that flower was there. That was way inside the plateau, and it nine times out of 10, when I find a flaw at the end, it's always right there. I don't know how that happens, but it's the hardest place to do anything about it. You really can't do much about it. And the flutes, you look real close at this, the flutes do not blast very well. And I don't want to be blasting them. Some of the other shapes I do, I can blast them. A smooth, well, I got one downstairs. Now, if this had a fly in here, I could blast that pipe very nicely. And it'd come up and it would look like something. But in square shape, in anything with flutes on it, they just don't, I can't get a good blast on them.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, Mr. Erck, it's an honor to be able to talk to you. I'm Fadi from Beirut, and I would like to ask you, what would be your source of inspiration? What does inspire the shape or the look of the pipe? Is it the briar, is it the grain, or something in your imagination?
Both. I've got briar down there on my shelf that's been there for, I don't know, years. And if you saw Father of the Flame, Lars Everson actually put it best. First, he says, I probably only used 50% of the briar that I bought. And then he said, each piece does not inspire you. It takes time. You plant the seed. There's been times I've walked by that shelf and looked at a piece and immediately saw something. And that plateau might have been there 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. But it comes from both. You look at some pieces and you can see what you're going to do with that pipe right away. Other pipes or other pieces, you got to wait for inspiration.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome.
Mr. Erck, this is R.P. Haran from India. This is Ramachandran from India. As a follow-up of what Fadi asked you, I want to know, how do you approach a decision on the shape of the pipe? Do you look around for briars to fit into the shape that you have in mind, or take a decision when you look at a briar, this is the kind of shape that would fit into the briar? Which way? I mean, it's...
Yes, I understand. Some pieces of briar you can look at and you can say, that'll make a Canadian. You can tell from, but once you get inside the block, the grain maybe has changed on you. So when you look at the squared block, you see nice straight grain. And you think that'll make a nice straight grain poker. But you get inside and the grain has made a turn on you. So now you either have to do something else or finish it like it is. But and a lot of times the grain stays the same and you come up with a nice straight grain pipe. I actually like doing, what do they call that? Cross grain, but not across the front and the back of the bowl, cross grain down the sides of the bowl. You get I don't know if you can really see
Yeah.
the blast. You get the bird's eye, whether it's a smooth pipe or it's a blasted pipe. You can see how nice the
Fabulous. Fabulous.
yeah the grain is there, and the bird's eye. That takes a lot of work. It takes hours, and two different mediums to get it like that.
But have you ever searched for a briar block with a particular design in mind and
Yes.
search for one?
Yes. I have a stack of orders downstairs that's probably a lifetime supply. And I'm looking for briar that that pipe will fit in, more than one. I have to make a trip to Italy again so I can sit down at Mimo's and find what I'm looking for. And I'll have to make myself a list what I want. But I've done that before. And Mimo is so busy, he's trying to supply everybody that asks him for wood. The last shipment I got from him, I had 14 pieces of #1 grade. Only 14. And Mimo and I are like father and son. Before that, he used to ship all of his briar when he'd come to the Chicago Pipe Show. He would send all of his briar to me, and I would get one box of #1 grade. But now he has a deal with Vermont Freehand, and he doesn't even sell them #1 grade. He starts with #2 with them, and he ships to them. He was having trouble with customs in Chicago. He tried to send it to himself at the resort. And the first year he tried that, he didn't get the briar. He searched around Chicago in 3 different custom houses for the whole weekend. He didn't get the briar to the show till late Sunday morning. Then he asked me if he could send it to me and I bring it down. But now with the COVID, he was afraid to ship it because there wasn't much coming across the Atlantic, and he didn't want the briar sitting in a shipping house somewhere in Frankfurt is where it goes to. Comes out of Frankfurt and usually ends up in Tennessee on FedEx. So the last shipment took, I don't know, weeks. Normally it's 4 or 5 days. That box I shipped last Thursday to Singapore is going to be there next Thursday. Now things are opening up. At least there's some flights. Because all the shipments don't go on FedEx planes or UPS planes, or so a lot of it goes on commercial flights.
Lee, let me ask another question, because I can hear how fascinated everybody is about your process in making pipes. Can we go back to when you started making pipes? You were talking about coming back home and smoking a pipe, and then you made this comment that was before I was actually making pipes. So tells me that you had a career or some kind of life before you carved pipes, and then what happened? Why'd you start?
Well, in my life, I have taken 3 hobbies and turned them into professions. The first one was skiing. The second one was showing dogs. I was a professional dog handler at one time for about 30 years. I traveled all over the country with other people's dogs and showing them for them. I've been to the big dog show at Madison Square Garden 3 different times. But I was getting to the age that I knew, because it was so much physical work and driving and so on, I wouldn't be able to do it for long. A friend of mine bought a pipe store that was in Green Bay, moved it to Marquette, asked me to help him set it up. The guy from Green Bay was there. And the question of pipe repair came up. I might have even brought it up because I had a lot of pipes with broken tenons. And he knew of a guy in Minnesota that was selling a pipe repair business. And I went over to Minnesota, met with the guy. We came to a deal. He moved all of the equipment to Michigan and spent about 10 days with me here, showing me what to do in different cases. And at that point, I wasn't even going to try to make a pipe. I was just going to fix them. And I had stores all over the country were sending pipes in. I was on a more than a first name basis with the UPS driver. But eventually I got to the point, okay, let's try and make a pipe. Let's see if we can make a pipe and sell it. So the first thing that went into my mind is, how are you going to sell these? Well, selling to pipe stores was the best way. Back then, I mean, no internet. This is back in the early 80s. So I went through the process of how I bought or what I did when I went into a strange or new to me pipe store. So the first thing you do when you walk in the door is you walk around, you look in the cases, you look at the pipes on the wall, and something catches your eye. All right. So first of all, I got to catch your eye. Then you want to see it, so you want to hold it in your hand. So it's got to have a comfortable feeling in your hand. Next thing, it's got to feel good in your mouth. You want a thin bit. And last but not least, you want a pipe that smokes good right from the first bowl. So that gets you the oil curing. So at that time, I had a big box. I got it from the guy that had the shop before. A huge box of old pipes. None of them had bits in them. So I took some of those out. I reamed them down to wood, oil cured them, put a bit in, gave them away, smoked them myself, just gave them to friends to see what they thought. And of course, in the beginning, some of those, it was one or two puffs and the pipe went in the garbage. So you got to change something. It took me about 2 or 3 years to develop something. Once I had that down, I knew how it worked on used pipes. Well, what about new pipes? So I bought, it was 75 pieces of the cheapest briar I could get. And I got that from J.H. Lowe, which at the time was in New York. And I started making pipes out of those and sending those that I sold or gave away or whatever, they all went with an evaluation sheet. And I've still got those evaluation sheets in a file. When those started coming back, I knew I was onto something. So now it's time to buy quality briar. And for a long time, I bought briar from Randy Wiley in Florida. And then I ended up at Chicago show one year. I asked Eddie Knudsen if he had any briar he'd sell me. And he was getting, at that time, was getting briar from Mimo and from Corsica. So Teddy sold me, I think, 12 pieces. And it was gorgeous stuff. Man, I just love that wood. So I see Teddy the next year. He was sitting at the bar at the resort talking to a guy, and I went up to him. I need more of that briar. Teddy, that was great stuff. And he points to the guy he's talking to. He says, well, buy it from him. That's who I get it from. And that was Mimo. And that was a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago. Could have been yesterday, I suppose, but that's when I started getting briar from Northwest Italy.
Was Mimo's father still running the show at that point?
Yeah. In fact, Mike Butera in Texas actually found people, is what everybody called them, found people long before I found Mimo. And Mimo was different than his dad. His dad listened to Butera and would cut it the way Mike wanted. But Mimo, that weekend in Chicago, Mimo came to my table Sunday morning when things were calmed down. And he spent most of the morning talking to me, looking at my pipes, picking them up, handling them, just really going over them, getting to know me, getting to know my pipes, so he knew what I would want. And he started cutting some different pieces. In the beginning, he called it crazy cuts. And that's what I get this out of. But it somehow caught on. Now he can't keep them in stock. Keep that in stock. Lots of people want those. And the artisan guys, they want really crazy cut plateaus. Look at what Alex Floroff does. Some of his stuff comes out of I sold Alex some pieces I didn't know what to do with, and he was dying for them. It's an interesting thing. How pipe makers can get along, because while we're all making pipes, we're all making different pipes. Most of these new guys, I call them the internet pipe makers, they're really just praising machines for the Danes. They're copying what Kent does and what Teddy does and what all the Danes do. I don't do I'm not on. I'm in a lot of pipe groups, but it's just to read the stuff that's going on. I don't participate a lot because really I don't want to be influenced. I don't look at pictures of pipes. I don't go to pipe maker sites. I don't go to smokingpipes.com and go through their pipes. I go through their tobacco, but not their pipes. I don't want to be influenced. And if you look at my pipes, they're all way different than everything these other guys are doing. I never made a bullfish. I've been asked to, but I get it from somebody that makes it. I don't make it.
Is the majority of your business commissioned pipes that people certain shapes, or do you prefer to make whatever you feel like making and then sell it that way?
Right now, it's orders only. Because of COVID, there's no pipe shows anywhere in the world. But when I know I'm going to Japan, for instance, I will make pipes to go to Japan. I know what they want over there, and what I don't sell at pipe shows, Suge buys and distributes the rest of them. It's the same thing if I go to St. Petersburg. I've tried shows. I've been to 2 different shows in Germany, 2 different shows in Italy. That's a hard one to break into. But there's something about my stuff that the Japanese and the Asians really like.
Lee, let me ask you a question about that, because we had a couple of questions come up on the group in the live stream and Facebook and YouTube about places overseas. So you say you send a box to Japan. So
Singapore.
Are you sending a box to Singapore? So are those for Asian collectors, or are those going into a retail somewhere?
Those 3 that I send are all going to different Singaporean collectors. I went to a pipe show once in Singapore. They have a pipe show like every 5 years or something. They don't have many. I did it. It was after a show in Japan. I flew down to Singapore and then back to Japan, then back home. And two of the people that the three pipes are going there for, I've seen at the Chicago show. They were up here before the Chicago show one year and spent some time here in Marquette down in my shop and showing them around the area. They showed me a great time in Singapore. And if you ever get a chance, if you like hot and humid, Singapore is a place to go to. It's a beautiful city.
Actually, it is on one of my travel to lists because I have so many friends who lived in Singapore or who have lived around Southeast Asia. I spent a lot of time in China and Hong Kong. But there were, I think the question that was people were very curious about. I said, I don't think Lee has any retail locations in the U.S. So they said, that's okay. Anywhere in the world that you think it's going into retail, they'd like to know about it.
I know that Suge in Tokyo puts them out into retail shops. Now, just where, I don't know, because some of the retailers will buy from me at the pipe show. They'll go to, my table is always right with Suge, just like theirs is right next to me at Chicago. I get the tables in Chicago, they pay for them in Tokyo or wherever we are in Japan. And if Suge brings over a shop owner at the pipe show, he can buy at the pipe show and I bill Suge. And just about every show. And where their shops are, I don't know. I've been to one down on the Ginza. They had some of my stuff in there.
So I guess you could never make enough. It seems like from watching Father of Flame when you went there with however many pipes you had, 9 or 12, or it seems like he would have bought 50 of them if
he'd have bought more. Yeah, in the video, I think there was 6 or 7 in that. He said we'll take them all and push them over to me to put in the bags. Yeah, they do that every time.
Lee, I want to pass along something also, no question here, but there's a carver over on our chat named Christian, and he is, I'm assuming maybe a younger generation carver, and he says, you were my inspiration to start making pipes, Lee. Great to see you in this interview. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Well, it's all of this notoriety is beyond me. I can't figure it out in my own head. Here in town, people know I make pipes, but they don't know where I stand in the pipe world, and I can't explain it to them. It's just something that happened. I didn't plan it, that's for sure. I was just trying to make a living.
That's what making quality pieces will get you.
Just my philosophy about that has always been make the next one better.
Cool.
And ask yourself the question, how can I make the next one better?
I'm trying to think of an elegant segue into my next question is what I'm trying to do here, because maybe we should just stay on this topic a little bit, because that was a very profound statement that you just made, Lee, as like every time you look at something you've just done is how can I make the next one better?
Right.
What do you do? How you are at the level that most people would consider a master carver. And you've spent a lot of years of your life doing this. So how do you at your level get better?
It's constantly better. You have to.
Hey, Steven.
After
you gotta go to your mom with the birthday party.
After I get done with the pipe and bring it up here and I'm taking pictures, I might see something that I don't like. Well, the pipe is done. When it's on my desk, the pipe is done. I won't go back. But if I see that same thing when I'm in the shop, I'll fix it. I'll change it to where I do like. And you get to the point where you can see 1/8 of an inch across the room.
Yeah, that I know what that's like.
You got to have some OCD in you.
Let me open it back up because I'm telepathic. I can hear all the questions that those guys have about this. Gentlemen, just go ahead and ask your questions and you'll pick them up.
Is Law Dog still here?
I don't know. I'll look around, but he did threaten to come in. I saw.
Yeah, I saw something on the screen at one time that Law Dog came in. Missed him last weekend. He wasn't at Columbus. I guess he left. His granddaughters probably showed up. He drops everything when they show up.
Lee, I have a question for you. If you've certainly reached a level of success in your pipes, and a question I have is this: if you could spend a day in the shop of any other artisan, currently alive or deceased, who might that be?
Can I only pick one?
Well, pick two. Pick several.
All right. Teddy Knutson, Lars Everson, Bo Nord, Tokotomi. I've been in Tokotomi's shop, but it was while we were filming over there in Japan, or while they were filming. I'd like to spend time with those three. I'd settle for Kent Rasmussen or Kurt Balby. I'd like to spend time with Tom Eltang.
Thank you.
I can arrange that, by the way, because we have him here. We should just have the two of you on, and then we'll all just sit back and listen to you guys talk.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I know Tom is somewhat up on this stuff, but I don't know about the rest of them. Of course, Lars and Bo Nord, we aren't going to talk to. But Teddy's out picking mushrooms. I can guarantee you that, unless he's making a pipe for somebody. He was here for about a week. We had to go and find morels. It was that time of year after the Chicago show. And luckily I found the morels. He said, no, I can go home and tell my friend in Denmark I have a secret place for morels in the U.S.
Can I talk about the?
question?
I want to talk about the pipe shows for a minute. Maybe have a little insight. When did you start going to shows, and you know why?
Well, my first idea when I was making pipes was, or when I put up a website, I was doing shows before websites, but I don't even remember how I heard about pipe shows, but Chicago was probably my first one, but it wasn't the Chicago we know today. It was in a rundown Ramada Inn on the south side of town. And down in Lower Michigan, there was a pipe club in Saginaw used to have pipe shows. I went to those. And I did a lot of shows, they called them trunk shows, in pipe stores. Stores that were buying my pipes would want me to come and bring a bunch of pipes and be there for a couple days. I did that, well, throughout the Midwest. I had at one time I had a real good store in Fort Wayne. I did all the repairs, and they bought a lot of my pipes. And we do a trunk show thing. The first weekend in November every year, they'd have a pipe smoking contest for all their customers, and I'd go down for that, bring pipes, put them out on the counter, and Dennis would buy some more for. I did all the repairs, and they bought a lot of my pipes. And we do a trunk show thing.
No, Tom, that wasn't, or Lee, that wasn't an echo. That wasn't an echo. That wasn't an echo. That wasn't an echo. So now, how many shows have you been to since that for Chicago? And do you do other shows besides just Chicago, or do you do the whole circuit? Or I know this year nobody went anywhere, but like
well, we had, and the last one before that was St. Louis in 2020. But I do Kansas City, I do St. Louis, I do Columbus every year, do Chicago when it's on. I have done the West Coast Bike Show at Vegas. I've done Richmond. I did one in North Carolina a long time ago. I've done 2 in Germany. I've done 2 in Italy. I've done 1 in St. Petersburg, Russia. The one in Japan is once a year. It's really connected to their pipe smoking championship of Japan, and it moves around the country for 4 years, and every 5th year it comes back to Tokyo. So I've been to pipe shows all over the country of Japan, even up to Sapporo. That was an interesting trip.
I have a question concerning the profile of the pipe smoker. Through all the years of your fabulous experience, and according to the law of supply and demand, have you noticed that the profile of the pipe smoker has changed? And if so, in what?
Not really. The pipe smokers that we know that are, or we see that are online, go to pipe shows, they're in groups like this, other groups. That's a very small percentage of the pipe smokers in the world, and especially in this country. Most pipe smokers, they're like your grandpa. They got maybe 3 pipes, 4 pipes. They go to the tobacco store once a week, once a month, buy a bag of tobacco, bring it home, smoke it, and go back the next week. They don't cellar it. They haven't got expensive pipes. 1Q is the top selling pipe tobacco in the world, of all things. And there's very few of us smoke that. There's some, but very few. But it's the guys like your grandpa. No, what really changed pipe smoking was the internet. It brought on groups like this and more pipe shows. And it's brought people together that normally, in this group, I don't know how many, there's 34 of us in here now. I'd be amazed if there were more than 2 or 3 of you guys that know each other personally. You might have 2 here and 2 there, and oh, Rex, I'm sorry, I'll talk to you later. That's Rex Bogenpaul calling me from Estes Park. there may be some of you that know each other personally. I mean, you sit down together, you meet at a pipe shop. But I'll bet you the biggest majority, none of you know the other guy. But it makes, by doing this, it makes your pipes that you get from each other more personal. I see it, I talk about it in the video. Somebody will be at my table for 10, 15 minutes and buy a pipe from me. Well, now that pipe means more to him than if he bought it at a pipe shop, because he talked to me for a few minutes and he thinks he knows me. He can go home and say, I bought this from this guy. I met him. I know him. He doesn't know how many brothers and sisters I've got. He doesn't even know if I'm married or kids, or he knows nothing about me. But he thinks he does, because he met me that one time. And that pipe means more to him because of it. That's one of the reasons I travel. That was one of the reasons I went to Columbus. I didn't think I was going to sell that pipe down there. But I've been going to that show for I don't know how many years. Putting back into the community. Doing this, putting back into the community. You got to give back.
Lee, in our world today, you know, we're being hunted. Anti-tobacco is just raging. But I recall something I heard you say once, and it stuck with me forever. And I'd like you to just comment on that and expand if you can. You said the true pipe smoker will never go away.
No. Real pipe smokers like us, we'll be around. We'll smoke a pipe because we don't. To us, tobacco, we are not addicted to tobacco, to nicotine. We can put the pipe down. You can get on that 12-hour flight from Detroit to Tokyo, and it doesn't bother you one bit to put the. When I had the bypass surgery, I went 10 days or 2 weeks or something like that without smoking a pipe, and it didn't bother me a bit. I didn't even want a pipe.
Good.
You know? But pipe smoking is so much different than cigarettes. And it's different than cigars. Cigars are somewhat similar, but because all the fiddling we got to do with smoking a pipe, keeping it lit, digging with a nail. I mean, keep them pipes clean. You know, there's a lot goes into it. It isn't just the smoking. And if you look at the wood, and I mean see it, not just look at it, see the wood. I don't think there's any more beautiful wood than briar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, done right, it's absolutely gorgeous. Even in a sandblast. And I say sandblast, and nobody uses sand. I like to use the word just blast. Because people are using different mediums. Most of the guys use glass beads. I don't. I use other things. But.
Do you fix or repair stems?
On my pipes, yes.
Good. I got 2 of them that need attention.
They're my pipes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ship them up. I got some repairs to do down there.
I'll get a hold of you.
The address is on my website.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Now, are they lucite or are they hard rubber?
They're all lucite. They're just 2. They're lucite.
I haven't got any lucite anymore. I didn't like it. It's hard on the teeth. And
hey, I'm okay with hard rubber too. I prefer it.
I'll make something out of ebonite, which is rubber,
right.
But it's a rod and it's a handmade bit.
Right.
Those handmade bits take at least a day to do, but I'll do it.
No problem.
Good. I had a guy call me one time, wanted to send me a pipe from a pipe maker from New York. I won't mention them, but there aren't too many, so you probably could guess. And he wanted me to fix a bit on his pipe. He told me who the pipe maker was. And I said, well, send it back to him. He said to call you. I said, no. Because there's not enough money in it, you know. The other guy's busy with his pipe shop and everything. He didn't have time to do it. He knows there's no money in it. That's why he wanted me to do it.
Are any of your pipes sold retail anywhere in the United States? I mean, pipe shops.
I can't think of one offhand.
Used to be, but no more, huh?
No. They used to be all. I used to go to the old RTDA shows.
Right.
That show. I went to a couple in Chicago. I went to Dallas. I went to Frisco. I went to DC. But that's years ago, of course. That was after the internet started too. My idea for a website was the owner of the shop would sit a guy down in front of a computer, get him on my website, and he could go shopping in my website. And then, because all the pipes are serial numbers, copy down the serial number and get a hold of me. I could ship the pipe to him and the pipe shop owner, but they're all too lazy. It never worked that way.
Yeah.
It didn't work at all. Now, they'd buy pipes from me when they'd see him at the RTDA or if I'd stop in the shop. I stopped in a shop in Lansing one time. The name will come, Campbell. And I walked in first with nothing, and I said to the guy, because I hadn't ever been there, I said to the guy, and his name was Campbell, I can't think of it now. Would you like to see some pipes? Oh, yeah, sure. I said, well, I'll be coming in with 2 gun cases, so don't call the cops. You know, and I walked in with 2 rifle cases, double rifles, put them up on his counter and opened it up, and there's 40 pipes in each one, you know. And that's kind of a whoa thing.
Yeah.
And he started, Doug Campbell. He worked for Savinelli at one time. He started at one end and he went down and he's going through them. He'd stop and he'd pick a pipe up and look at it and set it outside the case, put it back and down. And he picked like 7 or 8 pipes. And I could just tell by the look on his face what he was doing. And I said, you bought each one of those pipes, you know who's going to buy it. He said, yeah, this is Dr. Jones, this is Bill Smith, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. He named the guy that was going to buy every one of those pipes. So he wrote me a check, closed up my cases, and I went home. I called him back in about 10 days. I said, how'd you do with those pipes, Doug? Oh, they're all gone. I said, how many do you want? I'll put 3 dozen in the box, ship them down to you. You put them out. When your customers are done, put what's left back in the box, put a check in the box, and ship it back to me. He said, oh, no. Next time you're coming through, stop by. I never went back. I mean, good grief, how? You can't make it any more convenient than that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he knew his customers.
He sure did. And there were a lot of sharp stores like that too.
And they're all gone.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
Regal is still there in Fort Wayne. But the price of the pipes got so high, it scared them. Yeah. But everything else went up. I mean, look at the price of tobacco.
The price of everything.
I have a little question. As you
So, you have such an incredible legacy of pipe making, and do you mentor any of the younger pipe makers, or do you sort of teach your skills to the next generation in any way?
The short answer is yes. There's an explanation that goes with it. The first day, I've had a number of people come here to my shop. I was the one that started the pipe making seminar at the Chicago Pipe Show at the request of Frank Burla and Craig. So a lot of people in there learned a lot. And I had other pipe makers there, but I've had a number of people come here. And some of them are now professionals. Most of them. Dr. Bob from Vermont, Dave Need from Oregon and Florida are just two that come to mind quick. The first morning they come in my shop, I tell them, I will teach you everything I know how to make pipes, except one thing. And the one thing is, I cannot teach you how to make your own style. That comes from here and comes out here. I don't know how it happened to me, so how can I teach that? And I've had a lot of people come through here. Ernie Merkel from California, he was at the seminar in Chicago. But too many of these new guys are in and out in a matter of years, a short number of years. They think it's easy. They think once they buy the machinery, that's the big investment, and that isn't the end of it. The big investment is marketing, going to pipe shows, and that never ends. If you miss a pipe show in any one town for a year or two, the whole crowd forgets who the hell you are. You've got to keep going back. They come to pipe shows and there's a lot of guys today. You go and you look at their table and they've got, I don't know how many pipes, say 36 pipes on the table. And you see them 2 months from now in Elbow Bend, Idaho or somewhere, and they've got the same 36 pipes on the table. And they're bitching because they can't sell pipes and the aisles are so crowded you can't walk in. What's the problem? The problem is the price is too high. There's only so much money comes in the door every day at a pipe show. And say a guy's got a budget of $500 and you got a pipe at $500. And John Smith over here that's been coming to pipe shows for 30 years has got a pipe for $500. And the guy coming in, he knows John Smith's pipes. Now, where's he going to spend that $500? He's going to, he knows he's not going to the new guy. When you can't keep inventory, it's time to raise your prices. That's the simplest way I can put it.
I have a question, Lee.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Silver. Great.
It's me.
Yes. How's your husband doing?
He's doing super well. Thanks for asking. He's back making a few pipes and his health is much better.
Oh, I didn't know he was having problems. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, tell him it's Saturday. He doesn't work on Saturday.
Well, he's up playing guitar right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm working today.
Good girl.
So my question is, Lee, why don't you use online retailers? Like smoking pipes, tobacco pipes, etc.
They don't approach me.
Would you if they did?
Possibly if I had pipes to sell. Right now, Silver, I've got a stack of orders that I'm having trouble filling. I need some wood to fill some of them. The last shipment I got from Emo was 14 pieces. And I went through that stack And I found, all right, this pipe, because what I do is I print a picture of the pipe. I have people go to my website, look at all the pictures of all the pipes, because they're up there by year. All the pipes are serial numbers. When you find a picture of a pipe that you like, that you want, click on that picture. It'll take you to that pipe's individual page. On that page, there's a button that says some contact the pipe maker or something. Click that and your email opens up. And the serial number of the pipe automatically goes in the subject line and send me an email. So when I get those emails, I print them out. I go in my file. I find the pipe very easily because they're all numbered. And I print a picture of the pipe out and staple them together and put them on the bench. So when I get wood, I can take off of that stack and take a piece of briar, and they sit on the shelf like that. And I've got a shelf and a half full of stuff like
Well,
that.
I have a suggestion for your briar issue. Several years ago, I contacted Teddy Knudsen, and when he went to go buy his briar, he picked me out over 100 pieces. Handpicked from not Nemo or Mono or any of those people. It's some other briar cutter.
Really?
And they're beautiful. And they're graded. I can switch the camera. There. This is all my teddy wood. So write to him and he'll get you hooked up.
Right now, I'm gonna have to do that. I know at one time Eddie had a house in Italy, and it was 5 minutes from Mimo. And at that time, he was getting all his wood from Mimo, but now he can't get as much. I used to get a whole box of #1 grade every year when he came to Chicago. He'd ship all his stuff. Well, now he's hooked up with Vermont Freehand. But I just keep going along, doing what I can with what I got.
There you have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work. It's good to see you on here.
Yeah. Nice seeing you guys too. Say hi to Brad.
Mr. Erck, I have another question. Ramachandran from India. The profile of a pipe smoker today is much, much different than what it was about, say, 20 or 30 years ago. As you were mentioning, maybe there are even still people who have got only 3 or 4 inexpensive pipes, and they go to a brick and mortar shop, buy their tobacco, and again go and buy the tobacco. That's how. But with the online stores coming and with the disposable income and with the youth having sufficient money, and pipe smoking is again becoming a sort of a fashion statement. What do you find? What do you think is going to be the future of this piping community or pipe smoking, given that the onslaught of anti-tobacco fellows, that's also very serious?
It's not going to get easier. And I did hear in Columbus last weekend that there's a bill going through Congress now that they're going to raise the price of all loose tobacco. The tax is going to be $100 a pound. But that, they missed a lot of stuff when they put the last one on, and they missed cigars and they missed pipe tobacco when they did the thing with cigarettes. And they missed a lot. So now they're upset and they're coming back trying to get it all over again from the pipe tobacco. They're trying to get rid of the roll your own thing, is what they're trying to get rid of, but they're gonna end up getting rid of pipe tobacco too. Now, the old RTDA has been taken over by the cigar people, and they don't give a hoot about us pipe smokers. It's all about the cigars, and they'll settle with the government whatever they can. The big cigarette companies, they'll do whatever the government wants. They don't care. They got everybody hooked on cigarettes. But if that bill goes through, $100 a pound on loose tobacco, any loose tobacco, whether it's for cigarettes or for roll your own, or if it's for pipes.
This would be a good time for me to talk about my new website that I sell
too.
tobacco seeds on. Yep.
We're going to totally put tobacco out of business. We're going to just totally put us out.
And they're shooting themselves in the foot if they do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, nobody can afford it anymore.
No, but Congress doesn't care. That's the problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
We need to elect more as pipe smokers.
We'll have to take a trip to Europe and bring a suitcase full home and hope we don't get caught.
I wanted to talk about traveling
It's all
too,
in how
but
you're
not,
muted.
but not for.
It's all in how you dress and how you act when you're going through there. I
Well,
got stopped
Lee,
once
we're getting close. I don't want to go yet, so I don't know if the rest of you guys are okay with this, but I move that we stay on a little bit longer and see if we can talk Lee into hanging out with us a bit more. Is that cool with you guys?
Yeah.
Just checking, because you could all go and it'll just be me and Lee, and that'll be fine. Lee,
I'm listening.
you know what we haven't done yet? You and I emailed back and forth about maybe taking a look at some of the pipes you got laying around. You said maybe, because here's the deal, guys. Lee said he didn't want us to go into his shop. So I said, well, at least can we see some of the pipes you got around? And so that's what led to this. So we didn't do that yet. What you got?
There's one. It's kind of a brandy bowl with flutes. It's round shank here, flat on top and bottom. It's a sitter. A copy of that was one of the pipes in the box that just went to Singapore. Here's one I just fixed for a guy in Japan. Nice deep blast on it. Let me see if I can get more light on it here. Probably not, but I'll try. Oh, I still can't see it real well. It's a dark glass there. Nice deep.
Nice.
Nice bird's eyes down. That's again 2 different mediums and a lot of time. This is the only shape that I really ever gave a name to. And there's a picture of the inspiration on my website. But that's what I'd call a loon. The picture, the loon's head is like this. Got his neck bent all up. You saw that one. Just saw that one. Here's an early one. All dusty, hasn't been smoked in a long time. This is from 1990. I've been smoking that one a lot. Heavy because of the loose. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I've got one up there. I want this. I want this. The antler for this pipe was a drop found on property that I have in Minnesota along with my brothers. My youngest brother found it. It was just a little, well, you couldn't even call it a fork horn, really. But I made this pipe for my dad in 1993. I was up at the cabin, saw the antler, took it out of there, and then I made out of the fork part, I made a stand. My dad wouldn't hardly smoke it. Got to save it for a special occasion. Dad, you're 90 years old. Every day is a special occasion. But that's the depression philosophy, you know. This one's got kind of an interesting. This one, actually, this is one that's in the video. I sold this to a pipe store in Saginaw. And now in the video, it's got a different bit, and I didn't like the bit, so I changed it because I sold it to a pipe store in Saginaw, and my deal with retailers was that once they had the pipe for what they considered a reasonable length of time, I'd take it back, give them credit, and they could buy new stock. Well, I walked into her shop one day and she wanted to trade this one back in. And so I was glad she did, because when I got done, I got out into my truck and I packed it up and smoked it, and this one ain't going nowhere again. That's the only high grade that I ever kept. I made this in 1998, and it's a double A. The grain kind of washes out on the back of the bowl, but it's got a nice straight grain on one side. This is a piece of Greek briar. That was long before Mimo. Here, this one's got a piece of bird's eye maple, shank extension. It's hard to use bird's eye maple. The grain on the side, on both sides, is nice, but there isn't many bird's eyes. Because they don't go very deep, like the bird's eye in briar follows the grain and it goes all the way in. The bird's eyes in the maple are sometimes very shallow. And by the time you cut it down and fit it to a pipe, you've knocked off a bunch of bird's eyes. That's some. The stuff I got here. Here's a kind of a prince with lumps and bumps on it. This is an old one too. I don't know if I can. This is 93. 1993. And I saw another one back there that in 2015, I did the Pipe of the Year for the Columbus Pipe Show for that outfit. That was 2015, yeah. I made 21 of them. And I told John was the one that set it up. And I told him, I want to know as far in advance as you can give me, because I'm not going to sit down and make whatever number, one right after the other. I'll make one a week or one every 2 weeks or something like that. And I made 21 for the club, but that one had a flaw in it that I had to fix. So I fixed it and I kept it. And it's number 22. So 100 years from now, everybody will wonder about the mysterious number 22. Got to play jokes on folks. Especially those
you're
that aren't.
quite a joker, man. I love you. We're getting a little bit short on time because I try to get everybody out back to their families without taking along too much so that they don't get in trouble, and then they won't be able to come back next week. But I want to open it up one last time to all the guys here in the Zoom room. And by the way, I've said this like 17 times to him in an email, but I just want to say it, for all of us, we are really grateful for your time today, and are really learning a lot just by listening to you. So thank you for your stories and for your time. And we're not going away yet. Like, don't panic, anybody. So I wanted to make sure that I let you know that. And
Thank
so,
you.
gentlemen, last chance for thoughts, questions, questions we haven't talked about yet. Not only, he's deadly with a firearm. just saying. So if you got more questions.
Guess not.
If not, we're gonna go have a beer.
Lee, what's a website? Von Erck Classics?
What?
It's VON dash or hyphen V as in Victor Von Erck ERCK.com.
Got to have that dash in there, right?
Yep, it's a dash, not an underline.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I would
And
recommend it.
ERCK.
That website's got a beautiful gallery of pipes that you'll never be able to buy.
No, they're all sold. You don't smoke.
They're all sold, he says. But it gave me, pipe envy. Thank you, Lee. So I recommend that if you didn't get that, it's what is it, Lee? I forgot now already. It's pipes.
VON dash ERCK.com. And that gets forward to my charter account. That will never change, like my cell phone. If I end up moving sometime, still going to remain the same.
All right. Well, I'm always the guy who has to ring the bell and say time. Lee, I just have one last question I want to ask you. I ask this a lot to our special guests, but I think especially after today, we only scratch the surface of some of the stories you have to tell.
Oh, yeah.
So would you come back and be our guest again?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Especially in the winter when I can't go to the range on Saturday.
We gotta keep Michigan safe there.
Why, sure.
Well, that's it. So here's my awkward exit out of this time again. Thank you guys for being part of the club meeting today. All you guys here in the Zoom room are the coolest of the cool, and all the guys over there on YouTube and Facebook who are watching on the live stream. And Lee, let me just tell you once again, I kept getting a lot more comments about you being an inspiration and you being like the spirit of the pipe world. So a lot of people really are admirers of yours.
It's hard for me to process all of that.
Yeah, I know that because I have a lot of friends and family in the Midwest. So I get it. But it's the truth. You are an inspiration and a really wonderful person to have in the pipe world. So here's the deal. I want to give another thanks, not only to our special guest, but to all the guys on the Virtual Pipe Club admin group team, especially Oliver, who helps to put this together every week and keeps us rocking and rolling. I don't want to take up any more time, but I'll just mention that we have 9 days left to the end of the month of August, which is the official cutoff time for you to order the Virtual Pipe Club Pipe of the Year. And all you got to do, go to the Facebook page. Don't make me run after you. Go to the Facebook page and take a look at the picture of the pipe and some of the details on it, and then send Oliver $99, and we take care of the shipping. And anyway, that's my mention.
Cool.
I got to get out of here. Thank you, guys. Please take care of yourselves. Whatever you need to do, wash the hands, put the mask on, put the Halloween 13 mask on, whatever you need to do. stay safe and come back next week.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Lee.
You guys.
Bye now, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Thank you.
Enjoy the
Bye,
program.
everyone.
Hi,
Thanks, Lee.
everyone.
Have a
See you
good
later.
one. Have a good one.
Good seeing you, Silver.